We're not
Hey,
anywhere.
go pussy.
What? Why say it in my direction? Yeah,
Sorry.
I don't know.
Go pussy. Have you heard about this?
No, I haven't. No.
Berlusconi, the Italian prime minister. He's
Is Italy facing a lot of these budget shortfalls too, or are they in a tight spot?
You know what? I don't know what Italy's doing.
I think they are. All that Western.
I think
Europe
everybody's in trouble, obviously. But
Yeah.
I know this guy's in the news every couple of weeks for a comment that he makes. I think he called. Well, listen here. I got to vent again about translation and
Go ahead.
Western
This
media.
This is your show, Jay.
This guy, what is this? Silvio Berlusconi, the Italian prime minister. He came out a couple weeks ago against Merkel. Who was she?
The EU leader?
No, well, I don't know what she does for the EU.
The German
Yeah.
Chancellor, yeah.
Yeah. Miss Merkel, I called her an unfuckable lard ass.
Wow.
He says unfuckable lard ass.
Finally, some truth in politics.
And this one, no, I'm going to question that.
Sorry. Okay.
I mean, I guess it was pretty vulgar, but
Yeah.
and then this one they say, oh, he jokingly says they should rename his party. You know, his party is the People of Freedom Party. He says, oh, we should rename that Go Pussy.
What did they go pussy?
It doesn't. It's not what he said. That's my problem.
Okay.
If you know, this is Italian to English translation, so
yes, lost in translation.
yeah, I have a problem with that. You know what I mean? So like, we don't know really what he said. Like, obviously, I don't speak Italian, and I don't to be able to translate into English, so I don't know just how bad it is. You know, I translated this on Google Translate today, and it came up "Go Celebrity."
Oh, okay.
Didn't show up as pussy.
Okay.
So like. You know, maybe the word isn't as vulgar as pussy and like Merkel, you know. Maybe it wasn't as bad as unfuckable lard ass. Like maybe it was like untouchable fatty. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I think maybe we're putting a little bit of harshness onto him. But then again, I mean, a guy who paid a 17-year-old hooker to do things to him probably isn't the most.
At least he paid her. Yeah. Keeping the economy going, you know, putting some money out there, you know.
You want to tell me where he did something wrong?
Yeah. He's a rich, powerful man. He's allowed to do that type of stuff. So unfortunately, this Justin TV thing really isn't working out. I'm not sure if it's my cam or what the hell's going on. My fantasy team is still losing. Man, this is a fucking terrible night right now.
Oh, you know what? I lost Monday Night Football. We both have a shitload of people going on our fantasy teams, and a lot writing on this.
Oh, what's this George Bush clip?
My fantasy team, my fantasy shit costs $100. My league costs $100 to buy in, so I don't have time to fuck around, man. I need who do I got? Javid Best. I need Javid Best to tear it up.
You said you're up by after you though, right?
I'm already up by 15, but this guy's got Brandon Pettigrew and
about 5 points for him.
The kicker over there.
10 points for him. So I think he should be good, especially with Javid Best. Like you'll get some points from him.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope he doesn't have a season-ending injury like Jamal Charles did on me.
That was tough. You know, the guy in my league that had Jamal Charles, he ended up getting Peterson in trade.
Is this something I can do? Like, can I log in?
No, I think I got it going. I think this is it right here. Yeah.
So, also in headlines, I think probably the last important story going is the computer viruses that have hit the U.S. drone fleet. Now, I was actually pretty interested in reading the story that we have had a history of, I don't know if I want to say hacking virus problems with U.S. government, let's say drone and computer programs, period. Like, it's something you don't really think about. I mean, you know,
They said cyber terrorism is the next kind of frontier as far as terrorism. Everyone heard of whenever the Iran's nuclear facility got shut down by a syntax virus. So there's a precedent for this, but it is kind of rare that this comes out, especially this magnitude.
Yeah. So it's just interesting to know that, you know, our drones are
our drones, the thing that kill people, right? That like shoot them down from the sky, and the things that killed al-Awlaki, these drones.
I'm sorry, that killed who?
Muammar al-Awlaki or something like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You believe that one?
You know, Alex Jones said today they've come out 5 times in the past and said this guy has been killed. So this is the 5th time he's been killed, and they never retract it whenever, you know. So,
who is this? This was the guy that was seen
at the White House,
dining at the Pentagon.
At the Pentagon,
dining at the Pentagon after 9/11, and he was on America's Most Wanted list.
He was supposedly an ambassador for the Middle East and the West, like he was the go-between. But
another, read between the lines, and he worked for the CIA.
Yeah.
He basically did everybody's bidding against us. Okay.
He motivated Hassan, the guy who shot up the Fort Hood military base. He motivated the New York Times bomber. He motivated the Christmas Day underwear bomber. Speaking of the underwear bomber, do you know his trial's going on right now?
I did, because I've seen not his lawyer, but a guy who witnessed him getting on the plane was a lawyer, and basically exposed the fact that your government planned the underwear bomber. Your government let the underwear bomber get on the plane to set off a bomb that was never meant to detonate, so that they could increase TSA tyranny.
Bring in these underwear screeners, the body scanners.
Yeah, bring in the body scanners. The body scanners that are supposedly killing the workers, the TSA workers. Cancer. Cancer-ridden because they're working by this goddamn radiation machine all day long.
And the person that invented this machine, is tied to politics. He was a former politician, or his company that built the X-ray machines got a huge payout by the government to have these in the airports. The drone strikes, definitely some fear with that, killing an American citizen with the drone, and now it comes out that these drones can be overtaken.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, they put these fake stories out there. Anwar al-Awlaki,
a fucking terrorist.
We got him, and this and that, and then
Obama wins again.
And then what they think is they go, oh, all the conspiracy theorists are going to go, oh, but he was an American citizen, and that's the big controversy. He's
Paul's been saying that.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's not dead, and if he is dead, he was dead a long time ago. We didn't just kill him. We didn't just kill him, ladies and gentlemen. He's our buddy. He works for us.
He's probably in the White House right now, sleeping in Obama's bed with him and his wife, just enjoying the view from the White House lawn,
He probably takes Obama's kids out to the park every day.
Takes out that little puppy dog they have, Bandit, whatever the dog's name is.
I mean, I think his own tribe, they said his own tribe, went to go claim his body, and they got out there and said, he's not out here. There's no body. They've still not
dental records didn't.
They've still not claimed him as dead. I mean, it's not. If you don't realize that you're being lied to every single day, you realize that the government is allowed to put out news stories. The CIA is allowed to put out news stories, and put them on the news, and you don't have to be. You are not allowed to be told. That the CIA did it, ladies and gentlemen. It's all mind control operations. Everything is a mind control psy-op. Except the show, just please. And
then the money, this Fed money fuels the psyop. This is all fueled by the Fed money,
All of it, all of this money that comes
Capitalism.
From the Fed. Let's just give you a small little glimpse of what happens. The Fed says we're going to give out a lot of money, and the people get excited. But what they do is they hand it to a bank. And what the bank does is say, "Oh, now we got a lot of money, and we're going to give a lot of money." And the people get excited. And then what they do is they go hand it to about 20 other banks. And then all of those banks tell you, sorry, we can't loan you that money. Sorry,
your credit's bad.
Your credit's bad. Sorry, you're not qualified, even though we sent you a letter that said you were pre-qualified. So get over it. And all the money's going into all the banksters' hands.
Politicians' pockets.
Politicians' pockets, right into Warren Buffett's hands, through his Bank of America
dealings. Warren
dealings.
Buffett supports the working man, right?
Of course he does, and of course he supports taxing him, even though tax me more, even though I'm offshore. That should be his motto: tax me more, even though I'm offshore. Go, all these guys. I just want to say, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, and guys like Bill Gates who have these charity organizations that are fronts for laundering money not for laundering money, but tax-free bet profits. He's not taxed with this money that's pushed into this charity.
You explained this TED Talks video to me. I've seen him at TED Talks talking about the situation in the world. Population is what, like he said, like 7 billion, and then he says, oh, by 2030 it's going to be 12 billion people. But he says, but with good vaccines and healthcare, we can get that number down to 9 billion.
Down to 9 billion?
Wait a minute. What'd you say, Bill Gates? You said with good healthcare and vaccine programs, we can get the world population
what he meant
down
to say is
by billions of people?
With eugenics, he can get the population down to 9 billion.
That's what vaccines are. Yeah. Listen, that's not what vaccines are here in this country. In this country...
So Bill Gates' funding is...
In this country, if you have money, I have money, your vaccines are good. I've been vaccinated. My doctor, I've talked about this with my doctor. My doctor is vaccinated. Everybody who works in his office is vaccinated. My children have been vaccinated. Mm-hmm. My wife was vaccinated in Bosnia. So if she survived that, Lord knows you can survive a goddamn vaccine anywhere.
But these kids in Africa that are
right. It's the poor. It's the poor people of the countries. It's these kids in Africa, all these other places where we send the vaccines that they just happen to actually accidentally get the actual virus instead of the vaccine.
Right. Polio this is a polio vaccine. Oh, we gave you AIDS? Yeah.
Whoops.
That's kind of how it works, yeah.
Whoops. Yeah. So...
Because they want to take over the Middle East, and in Africa, they want control. Land is power. Land is power, don't forget that. Whenever you see us going into Libya, eventually into Syria, it's just a land grab. We want the land, we want the power.
Speaking of occupy everything in Libya, you see Gaddafi now is asking for the citizens of Libya to basically just make a peaceful resistance to their new leaders.
Because the new leaders aren't as horrific as he was, right? So the new leaders are going to be okay with it if they peacefully protest, right? Just like our leaders over here are the same leaders that allow the New York Police Department to club and beat and mace and that type of stuff, yeah.
So Gaddafi's asking for Occupy Libya, basically wanting everybody in Libya to just take to the streets and peacefully refuse this. But when you have an armed population that's already pretty much subjected to warfare, I don't think there's going to be anything peaceful going on.
Going to get mowed down in the street more than likely. Speaking of these protests that turned violent, did you hear about, of course, the Egypt turn in events that's happened this past weekend?
I've heard about it, but I haven't looked into it at all.
More Christians and Muslims fighting.
Right, yeah. Christian Muslim fighting, and churches and
the funny thing is, I was watching Fox News, and they said, "Oh, these Christians were just minding their own business," and then the Islamists come and attack their churches, burn down their churches. But if you really look at the information, the Christians are just as much to blame as the Islamists. They're both wrong, of course, in inciting this violence. But nobody is not at fault here. And to see Fox News saying the Christians are just minding their own business and they get killed in the streets, like, come on, you're just furthering the agenda. But Fox News is definitely faux news.